If you've decided you want a home server, you've probably already run into the problem. Every forum gives you a different answer. Half of them assume you want to spend a fortune, and the other half assume you already know what a hypervisor is. So let's fix that. In this video, I'm going to walk through every realistic option for your first home server, what each one is genuinely good at, who each one is wrong for, and roughly what you should expect to spend. By the end, you'll know exactly which one to buy, and, just as importantly, what to not waste money on. No rack required. No huge budget. Let's go. Before any shopping, one idea that makes every decision afterward easy. A home server is not a special category of machine. It's just a computer that stays powered on and runs your services in the background. That's the whole job. It doesn't need a screen. It doesn't need to be fast in the way a gaming PC is fast. It mostly needs to be on and reliable and not cost much to run, which means the real question isn't, what's the best server? It's, what do you actually want it to do? Because that and only that decide what you should buy. Here's the simple version. If you want a few lightweight things, ad blocking, a smart home hub, a couple of small apps, almost anything will do, and you should buy small and cheap. If you want to stream video, your own media server, you need a bit more, specifically a processor that can handle video efficiently. And if your main goal is storage, backing up a lot of photos and files, then drive space, not processing power, is what you're really buying. Hold those three cases in your head. Light services, media streaming, lots of storage. Now the options actually make sense. Option 1, the Raspberry Pi. What it's good at, it's tiny, it sips an almost comical amount of power, and it's cheap to get started. For a couple of light services, network ad blocking, a smart home hub, a small app or two, it's a perfectly good first server, and it's a great way to learn without much risk. Where it falls short, and you need to hear this honestly, it struggles with media streaming that involves video transcoding. Storage is a bit awkward because you'll want to add an external SSD rather than rely on a memory card. And because it uses a different type of processor than a normal PC, you'll occasionally hit software that needs an extra step to run. So, the Pi is for you if you want the smallest, lowest power option, and you only have a couple of specific lightweight jobs in mind. If you think you'll want to do more, keep watching, because the next option is the one I actually recommend for most people. Option 2, and this is the one I'd point most beginners toward, the used enterprise mini PC. Here's the background. Big companies buy these compact little desktops by the thousands for office workers. Every few years, those companies upgrade and offload the old ones, and they flood the secondhand market, which means you can buy a well-built, genuinely capable little computer for a fraction of its original price. Why this is the sweet spot for a first server? It's a normal PC processor, so essentially all self-hosting software just runs, no asterisks. Many of these chips include built-in video acceleration, which makes them genuinely good at running a media server. They're small and quiet and use very little power. You can usually add more memory and storage cheaply. And on the used market, they are inexpensive. The one thing to check before buying, confirm how much memory it has and whether you can add more, and that it comes with a drive. Those are easy upgrades, but you want to know going in. If I had to recommend one path for a first home server to most people watching, this is it. Best capability for the money, room to grow, and low running costs. I'll link the exact model I use in the description. Option 3, buy a mini PC new. There's a whole category of small, affordable, brand new mini PCs built around modern low-power processors. They're inexpensive, they run cool and quiet, they use very little electricity, and the key difference from option 2, they're new, in a box with a warranty. The trade-off is straightforward. You'll usually pay a bit more than the equivalent used machine, and for the same money, the used enterprise option often gives you a slightly stronger processor. But you're getting a fresh machine, full warranty, and you skip the whole experience of hunting through secondhand listings and judging a stranger's photos. So this is for you if you want new with a warranty and value simplicity over squeezing out maximum value. It's a completely reasonable choice. Just go in knowing what the premium buys you. Option 4, a dedicated NAS that stands for Network Attached Storage. A NAS is a purpose-built box whose whole reason for existing is storing files and serving them across your network. It has multiple drive bays, so you can run several hard drives together for capacity and redundancy, meaning if one drive fails, your data survives. And modern NAS units do more than storage now. Many can also run apps in containers, so they're more flexible than they used to be. Choose a NAS if your main goal is storage, backing up the whole family's photos and files, a big media library, a proper backup system, and you want something turnkey that's designed for exactly that, with a friendly interface. The trade-offs. A NAS plus the actual hard drives is the most expensive starting point here. And while modern ones can run apps, a general-purpose mini PC is still the more flexible tinkering platform. So it's storage first versus tinker first. A common pattern, by the way, people start with a mini PC for services, then add a NAS later when storage becomes the priority. You don't have to pick forever today. And option 5, the one nobody selling you hardware will mention. Use a computer you already own. That old laptop in a drawer or a desktop you replaced. Either one is a completely valid first home server. And a laptop has a hidden bonus. The built-in battery acts like a tiny backup power supply, so a brief power flicker won't take your server down. The one thing to check, older machines could draw noticeably more power than the modern small stuff, and a server runs around the clock. So if you can, measure it with a cheap watt meter and decide if you're happy with the running cost. But as a way to start, to learn the skills, prove you actually enjoy this, and figure out what you'll really use, starting with hardware you already own for $0 is the smartest possible move. You can always upgrade once you know what you want. Before the final recommendation, here are the mistakes that cost beginners money and sanity. I've watched people make all of these. Mistake 1, rack fever. You'll see big rack-mounted enterprise servers selling cheap online and think you're getting a deal. You're not. Not for a first server. They're loud, they're heavy, and they can use 10 times the electricity of a mini PC every hour forever. Skip it. Mistake 2, overbuying. You do not need a powerful processor and a huge amount of memory for your first few services. Buying triple what you need to be safe just means spending more and running up a bigger power bill. Buy for what you'll do in the next 6 months. Upgrading later is easy. Mistake 3, ignoring power draw. This is the number that actually matters, and beginners forget it. Your server runs 24 hours a day. A machine that draws a little more might cost only a few dollars more per year, or it might cost a lot. Check it before you buy. Mistake 4, and this is the real one, waiting for the perfect setup. The biggest mistake isn't buying the slightly wrong thing. It's buying nothing for 6 months while you research the ideal build. Don't. A good enough server you actually own beats a perfect one you're still thinking about. So here's the whole video in one simple decision. Find a line that sounds like you. If you want to spend nothing and just start learning today, use the old computer you already own. That's your answer. If you want the smallest, lowest power option and you only care about a couple of light services, get a Raspberry Pi. If you want one box that does almost everything well, including media, at the best price, and this is most of you, buy a used enterprise mini PC. That's the default recommendation. If you want that same kind of machine, but brand new with a warranty, and you'd rather not shop secondhand, buy a new mini PC. And if your whole reason for doing this is storage, family photos, file backups, a big library, buy NAS. That's it. 5 clear paths. There's no single best. There's the best one for what you want to do. Whatever you picked, including the laptop in my drawer, that's a real home server, and you're ready for the genuinely fun part, actually putting something on it. That's the next video. I'll take a fresh machine and walk you through getting your first self-hosted services running on it, step by step, from zero, no experience assumed. It's on screen now. And if you're building along with this series, subscribing is how you keep the next steps coming. Pick your box. I'll see you in the next one.